Okay. All right. All right. Fantastic. So good morning, everyone. Hope you had a great week. And just want to just say a few things. I took some notes this morning. I was doing some reflecting back on this year because we're already halfway through, right? We're already halfway through. We're in June. And a lot of things that we do between now and the end of the year are going to make a huge factor in our business and our growth. I want you to think about something real quick. I was coming up with this analogy and I kept thinking about this analogy and what perfect timing. We're in hurricane season, correct? And most of you that live in the Florida area or wherever, or Georgia or or tornadoes, or if you're in California, it might be earthquakes, right? So I was thinking of something today, and it's always something that resonates with me because every time I have a call with my coach, we talk about a few different things, and it's so repetitious, right? It's so repetitious. Consistency, persistency will equal success. Consistency, persistency, and will equal success. There's no magic in anything, and there's no gift greater than the investment in yourself. And I think Fred talks about that at the highest level. So what I'm going to do today is I want to do an analogy, and this is going to be real open. I want to do a quick analogy on foundation, right? So we're in hurricane season in Florida. That's where I live. And the first thing that's built for the home is the foundation, right? So if we didn't have a great foundation and a hurricane came through and blew the house over, what still remains? The foundation, right? The foundation. If the foundation is strong and it's tightened up with the construction above it, then it'll stay intact. Now the roof has to be strapped down and have stronger straps and a good roof for it all to remain, right? So are you going to be able to fight through the storm that is coming? I'm telling you, and I cannot say this enough right now. Are you prepared for the storm, the hurricane, the tornado, everything that's getting ready to come? If you are not, and you are oblivious to this, and you may say, Tom, you're out of your mind. I don't care, that's fine. But I am telling you right now, there's 3 things that you need to do quickly. Number 1 is fix your mindset. Number 2, get your skill set to the highest level and change your habits. Right now, if you want to be in real estate another 12 months, I don't care if you're a top producer or a brand new agent, you want to be in this business in the next 12 months, what's going to happen here with the recession that's going on, with the pricing of gas, with the cost of material because of the cost of gas and food and everything else, we are going to see the buyers slowing down and the sellers, more listings coming up, which is going to create more time on market, which is going to take more work, and it's going to take more dedication, and it's going to take a strong skill set to get through this, right? Huge growth comes from investing in you. Huge growth comes from investing in you. Skill set, mindset, habits are the most important critical components when you're building the foundation of your business, okay? I shared my story with most of you, and I'm going to share it again on here. And 64 people on the call. I'm going to be coming from a very humble place. In 2006, I was in Austin, Texas in August, and this redheaded guy named Kurt said to me at a huge, there was like 12,000 agents there. He said, Tom, how's business? I said, fantastic. He goes, what's your goal? I said, I'm on my best year ever in real estate. He goes, that's fantastic. What are you going to do next year? I said, I'm going to double it. He goes, how are you prepared for the storm that's coming? I'm like, you're out of your mind. You don't know what you're talking about. What I didn't realize is he studied the economy. And guess what happened in 2007? When you go from making buku money to closing no more than $3 million in volume in 2007. And in 2008, it started to go up a little bit. I think I closed 4 million. So the reason I'm telling you this is I was not prepared. My skill set was good. My mindset was, I know everything. And my habits were lead generation, but I wasn't building what was to come. So today, how do you sustain substantial growth through any market, any shift, anything that happens? See, everyone has to buy, sell, or invest in real estate always, no matter what market we're in. Okay. But here's the true fact of this. Myself, George, and I'm sure about 25% of the other people on this call have gone through a down market. Hey, Deep, thank you for allowing me to take to market your home for sale. I do 1-year listing agreement. Well, would you do 3 months? Absolutely not. Do you know it really takes about 6 to 9 months just to get an offer? Who on this call has ever experienced that? Most of you on the call are like, I didn't get an offer and I put it on the market this morning, right? So are you prepared for what is coming? And I want to talk about that a little bit. Are you winning the day every single day? And our success leaves clues, right? I'm reading my notes here because I was up this morning at 5:30 taking a lot of notes and everything. So it comes to the basics, right? Make a decision to win every day. Okay. What is winning for you? Is it getting an appointment? Is it getting 5 contacts in your database? What is the win for you? Because here's the thing. Lead generation, there's a guy named Bill that does a presentation that blows my mind. Every single time he does it, I'm like, holy cow, this guy's pretty darn amazing. And I took tons of notes on what he talked about. And what he talks about is lead generation prospecting will cure all problems. Lead generation and prospecting will cure all problems. Prospecting mentality. Do you get up every day and go, I can't wait to get told no 99 times so I get that one yes? Does that deflate you? Prospecting is your job. It's your job. I want you all to take just a second, and I want you to rate yourself from a scale of 1 to 10. How committed are you on a daily basis for your prospecting? It is, now remember, this is your number one job. Share in the chat box. Just share. And no right or wrong, no judgment, but it's just being humble. Joey, 4, Rex, 3. Okay. Now, Liz, 5, Deep, 5, Donna, 4. See, there's always room for improvement. If we say we're at 10, we're being completely ignorant, right? Honestly, there's very few people that I would say that's a 10, because there's some gaps in their day or one day that they don't do the lead generation. So if lead generation is your number one job, I want you to think about something. As you put your number down, would you hire you? Would you hire you? Are you? So when you go on a listing appointment, I want you to reverse the mentality thinking and go, Joey McGregor is coming on the listing appointment. Would I hire Joey? If Joey's talking to himself, is his skill set right? Is his mindset right? Is he really sincere and passionate about helping me sell my home? Would you hire you? There's some great things here. So no matter what your number is, okay, no matter what your number is, I want you to go, what can I do today to bump it up a little bit? What can I do next month to bump it up a little bit? What action am I going to take? Without lead generation, you will not get appointments. You are not going to write contracts, and you are not going to get any closings. So I want everyone to prepare for what is coming. And let's say nothing does happen, right? Let's just say nothing happens, right? Because we're completely just kicking butt. Nothing happens. you're improving your business. You're growing your real estate business. See, the foundation to our business, whether you've been in it a long time or not, is knowledge, skills, mindset, and habits. See, when you have skill set and mindset and habits to lead generate every day, you're going to build a pipeline of business. No matter what market you're in, no matter what happens to the real estate business, no matter what, people are still going to buy and sell, and you're going to shine above the rest. One of the things I would say too is always be the best co-broke possible, because those people that you're co-broken with may not be in business in the next 6 to 9 months. And guess what? Say, hey, I know I know you just got out of the business. I'd love to get your database and pay you referrals. Love to pay you referrals. I've seen it. I experienced it. It was the most devastating thing that you can ever go through. And I don't want you to go through it. I've seen realtors go from making $300,000 a year to working at a retail store. And there's nothing wrong with that, getting a job, but I'm just saying they were not prepared for it. They were totally ignorant to it. And by the way, there were like some top producers that I seen totally wiped out of the business because their expenses are high. So remember what I said, and remember what Fred always talks about, investing in yourself. So as you look at your monthly expenses, I want you to take a quick look at those monthly expenses and go, is this an investment or is this an expense not needed right now? Right? Is this an expense, an investment, or something I don't need right now? See, we go through this thing that's called red light, green light. And in today's world, the way where we're going, I want you to be prepared. So does anybody know what's happening to a lot of these major companies like Better, even KW? They let go a lot of their staff. Redfin and Open Door and all these companies are cutting their staffing. Why do you think they're doing that?
Business is low.
Yes.
Business is low.
It is going down. I was completely surprised when I looked at it the other day, and I might have mentioned it on one of our calls, but I looked at the top 10 real estate companies in the Daytona Beach area, and the average was negative 16 to 18% year over year. Total volume. Now, if total volume's down, units are down. Okay. So if we're seeing it with the real estate companies, top real estate companies, we're seeing it with the mortgage companies. We're seeing it with the builders. By the way, the builders are slowed down about 19 to 25%. Something is happening, right? Don't be naive to it. So look at your expenses. Is it an expense? Is it an investment? Or is it something that I can cut out immediately? Well, we can't cut out our MLS dues. We can't cut out our NAR dues and all to be able to be a realtor. But what we can cut out is, are you buying leads that are not benefiting you? Cut it out. I know a friend of mine that's spending about $3,500 a month and hasn't closed a transaction from those leads in the last 3.5 months because they're not, either it's follow-up or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Imagine if you took $3,500 a month and invested it in yourself. So in other words, your skill set, your mindset, and building your habits. You go into more training events. See, the biggest growth you'll have is at the biggest events. I can't afford it. I understand that. Stop thinking at it as an expense and looking at it as an investment. Because if you got $1 million listing right now, you'd go, oh yeah, I'll pay $400 to get the photos taken. Okay, you're marketing the property. That's what you got to do. But are you investing in you? Are you growing you? So CACC, contacts lead into appointments, which lead into writing contracts, which lead into going to closings. Build your contacts, do your lead generation, and everything else gets better. So what is success to you? What is success to you? Anybody want to share? What is success to you? Success is getting what you want. Are you getting what you want in business right now? Are you getting the listings that you want? Are you closing those buyers on those offers? Working with an active, engaged client? Peace of mind. Here's another thing. Look, yeah, Liz, you are 100%. Look at those car payments, right? You know, random driving. I don't know, maybe that's an expense that you can save on, right? Because of the price of fuel. Being able to lead generate business and provide for my family. Joey, I know you're committed to this, and we could all learn from you being in the business the length of time you're in. Do not stop. Do not listen to the naysayers, and do not get involved in the negativity about real estate, other than I'm helping buyers and sellers, and that's my mission and that's my goal. See, here's the other thing too. I had this conversation with someone a long time ago. They were complaining about paying taxes. I can't believe I got to pay X amount of dollars. Well, here's the thing. How awesome is it that you were able to make so much money that you had to pay that amount? So take a look at your expenses and go, okay, gas at $6 a gallon, it's not a problem. I can still pay for that because I'm earning more money, right? The only time we worry about something is when we can get concerned about our own income, right? So if gas goes up to $12 a gallon, if you're earning an income and you're consistently growing your business, it's not going to be a factor for you. It's not going to matter, right? You're going to find a way to make that part of your business expense. Okay. So invest in yourself, invest in lead generation, not someone do it for you unless you're at that point where you can hire an ISA to do it for you. Go on appointments. The more appointments you go on, the more consistency you have, the more opportunities you're going to gain. So I'm going to open it up now, and I really want this to kind of be a mastermind around kind of things that we said. You know, the hurricane comes through. If we got a strong foundation, the only thing that'll be there if the house is totally flattened is the foundation. So no matter what storm we go through, is your foundation still there, strong enough to get you through it? Now, this isn't a call for me to tell you, oh gosh, it's all doom and gloom ahead. I'm not saying that, but I am saying things are going to correct. And when they correct, there's less opportunity, which means the realtors who have the biggest skill set will get the biggest portion. And here's the other thing: biggest opportunities come when we're in a declining market. All right, Rex, I love that. By the way, of course I struggle. I just don't quit. You know what I mean? That's a true statement. Very true statement.
Morning, Tom. I think this goes back to it's Robert. It goes back to some of the foundation that we talk about. We talk about putting away the rainy day money when the business changes. You know, you talk about the foundation, Tom. You know, what we should also have been saying is we should have built the safe inside the foundation so that when there's nothing left, the safe is still there to rebuild ourselves. You know,
correct. Yeah.
All of us that, you know, let's face it, you know, we all have had some nice commissions, and we may have splurged on a few things, but it's time to look at what we need. For me, personally, do I need CRM Grow? Is it part of my business? Is it worth the $30? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Do I need these other systems I like them and they're pretty and they work, but are they core to me surviving the business? Time to get back to our cores. And we've been saying this, and I'm sure Deepal has a lot to say about this, but we're going back 10 years, 15 years. We're digging back into what worked, and we've got to help to build around us strong agents that know how to survive this.
That's
exactly. We're in this together.
We are, and that's where the best co-broke relationship will always come in for a long lasting, many times I'll have an agent call me and go, hey, I just put an offer in with this realtor. I'm like, let me call him for you. And I'll call him. I'll say, hey, Claire, this is Tom. I know Justin's putting an offer in. Let me tell you something. I personally work with Justin side by side. He's an amazing agent. We got a long past and a long history, and we've always helped each other. What can we do to make this deal work? See, my relationship is going to help my business. I remember in the market, when the market was like it is today, back in 2005, George Philback and we knew each other really well. So he got a listing and I had a buyer. We missed a lot of homes. So I called George and I said, can we meet you and the owners and sit down with the buyers and come to an agreement on price? He goes, let's do it. We got the house. So it was based on relationship. So you gotta keep persistent and consistent on everything that you do, build that foundation and build yourself. So when I talk about investing in yourself, are you reading? Are you surrounding yourself around like-minded growth individuals? Are you the smartest person in the room? If you are, get into another room. The other thing is, are you going to events? Are you investing in going to events? Are you investing in a coach? Are you investing in group coaching programs? See, that's all a tax deduction. If you don't invest in yourself, you'll be paying the IRS more money. It's all a write-off. I say it all the time. Someone's like, if you don't invest in yourself, you invest in the IRS. I don't know. Anyway, you need deductions. And by the way, anything that you spend money on for coaching or group coaching or events is 100% deductible. So think of it as them paying you to go to school or get a coach or get in these programs to better you. When someone tells me, I'd love to get in that program, but I don't have the money. And when I nail down and go, how many coffees do you buy from Starbucks a month? Oh, wow. So imagine if you can give up Starbucks just for 1 month, just to get involved in this program to help you get your business really skyrocketing. I can't afford to go, Tom. I said, I know. You smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Who can afford to do anything when they're smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day? By the way, I had that conversation with someone as they're outside smoking a cigarette, telling me how they can't afford to do something. And I said, no, you can, because you're investing in your poor health versus investing in your good health. Now, we all have habits, and I'm not saying good or bad, and I'm not judging, but don't come and sit in front of me and tell me you can't do something when you have a poor habit. Okay? Oh, I can't do it, Tom. I know. Imagine if you stop this for 30 days or 60 days. So kind of go through what you spend money on and go, is this something that I need to give up or cut down? Right? So I'm going to open it up. Claire, go ahead and interject and get people going. I got to take something real quick. It's my son.
Hey, Tom,
Yes.
there's an icon among us.
Yes, and he has his hand up. So Matt, go ahead.
Thanks, buddy. Claire, how are you, girl? Hey, you're talking about the shift and folks, the being personable and the co-broker and everything else. And Claire and I are in the same area, and Robert as well. My last 4 deals have all been for families that were like, desperate. We're never going to find a place to live. We just stopped looking because they were working and they switched agents, and I was able to work with them. The same with lenders, because people don't want to work right now. They've gotten too relaxed with the way real estate's been for the last 2 years, and real estate's changing, like Tom said. And so if you build the relationship with these agents and they know that you're going to work hard and you're going to make it a good process with them, they're going to convince their seller to go with your buyer over somebody else. Like, I've had it on my last 3 ones. We weren't the highest bid. We weren't the strongest buyer, but they knew that because we'd worked together before, that it was going to be a smoother transaction and there weren't going to be any surprises. The other side of it is when somebody comes to you and they are discouraged because the investors are buying everything up, the sellers are tired of investors. They truly are. They're tired of hedge funds coming in and buying everything up. The last two that I put under contract in May, both agents told me that they've had cash offers from investors, and you can't write the love me letters, but you sure can have a conversation with that agent. And they chose my buyers over the investors because they wanted a family in their home. They raised their kids in that home. They want to see a family move in. They don't want somebody coming into it and, turning it real quick, making a quick profit or throwing renters in there that the neighbors aren't going to want to live by. So really make sure you're building the relationships now. Get out to social events. Go to social events that vendors, title companies are putting on. Meet people and build those relationships, because your personality and the relationships you build are what's going to carry you through the business over the next couple of years when it's really slow. People are going to recognize you and they're going to want to work with you versus just being another agent that's bringing an offer to the table.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Matt, congratulations on your icon. You worked super hard for that. By the way, he made it by $1, right? That correct, Matt?
Yeah, it's $1.10.
$1.10. Guys, pay attention to that. Also, we have,
That's less than a coffee from Starbucks.
yes, it is.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm having a Panera today just to celebrate, because I seriously, like, guys, I'm a single dad, or I don't have time to give away money. You know what I mean? Like, and that icon status is gonna fund. I got a kid going to private school. You know what I mean? Like, that's stuff that I want to pass along to my kids. And when Tom was talking about the relationships, I did 34 transactions last year. 16 of those were referrals from EXP agents. When you do a referral, guys, that transaction fee is smaller than the $250 that it normally is. But I had one that was only like $63 or something transaction fee. Well, guess what? That put me over icon. That $63 did. So build those relationships, build those referrals, because they make you have to work harder, or not less hard. How do you even say that? Can't think this morning. They make the effort easier they make the effort easier to achieve those high level goals that you set for yourself. Because I didn't have to prospect for those 16 sales, right? I just built relationships and they came to me.
Well, and that is prospecting, by having the initial conversation and building the relationship, right? And we also have Steve Pugh, he's 2-time icon now. So these individuals are consistent and persistent, and they're creating success. Like Matt had said, he's building a lot of rapport with a lot of agents that will help you grow your business. And then relationships, like I hear Joey on the calls all the time. I seen somebody say, I need a listing agent in Rhode Island. I think I was on it faster than anybody, Joey, right? I was sending you a text message. I screenshot it. I put his name down. I was sending the guy a message. I was working on behalf to help Joey get that, because he works hard, and I know he does. Right?
Yeah, I've actually had a few people, Tom, send me referrals and put my name out there. One of my newest listings that I just had closed recently for $550,000 was a referral from an agent in Florida in this group.
See, again, guys, so like I said, building contacts equals appointments equals contracts to closings. This is still a resource. Our group is a resource. The more you participate, the more relationships you'll build, right? So invest in yourself, invest in taking the time to come into these calls, maybe not every day, whatever you decide to do, but make sure you're see, the key is, are you being purposeful on everything that you do? So in other words, when you get on these calls, are you sending like little messages to maybe someone that's on here? Hey, glad to see you. How's business? Everything good? So just little things. looking out for each other on referrals, a huge opportunity. But make a decision to win every day. No matter what you're winning at, make a decision to win something every single day. Robert, go ahead.
So we talk about the shift in the market, and I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but I'm seeing broker open houses starting again. And that means agents and those of us that have been in this business know where this is going. 10 years ago, we were literally putting out massive spreads of food to get agents who unfortunately weren't getting commissions to come have lunch with us to see if they could drag a buyer to take a look at our listings.
Yeah.
And that is all about building relationships across our business, because that's a great opportunity to talk to tons of other agents about what do you have, what might be coming, what's going on in your market. It's not about attraction. If attraction happens, that's great. It's about these longer relationships we need in this business.
That's 100%.
Hey, and equity's back on the table too, guys.
yeah,
People are not, unless you're in like one of the top neighborhoods in the area. My last 3 or 4 buyers have all closed with equity on their houses because, you know, the listing agents are still trying to play the games of, well, I have a lot of offers coming in. And you're like, yeah, that's great. I haven't seen any multiple offer stuff. You present your offer. Don't get discouraged with anything. Go in with knowledge and confidence, and you're going to get the deal for the buyer.
That's right.
Matt, the other thing that I was actually Tiffany was talking to me about this, trying to win a deal. You have the opportunity to present the offer yourself if the other agent will let you. So that is another way to try to get your buyer into the deal and to convince the seller that these are the right people to take over that home, be the next custodial to the home. There is emotion here, but we got to be careful on how we play it.
That's right. So when we talk about the shift, and here's the thing, the shift tactics in the shift book, not only is it just about a shift, it's about building your business. Liz, I know you had your hand up, and then I'm going to go backwards and I'll go to Joey because I know you had your hand up for a while, and then Claire as well. So you're doing the book club on shift, you're involved in grit, you're investing in yourself, you're building referrals, you're building business from doing the activities. You're not sitting home waiting for the phone to ring, are you?
Absolutely not, guys.
Okay.
And I just wanted to make a comment about what Tom said about get on the calls or don't get on the calls. No, guys, you need to be on these calls every single morning. You have people who are producing, you have people who are highly successful that you see on the calls every single day. I get a golden nugget out of this every single day. I know Joey does, I know Deep does, I know Claire does, I know all the top producers, you know, Alita, I see you nodding your head right now. Matt McCord, who's icon, on these calls every single morning. This is where you need to be because we are sharing best practices in order to increase your business. You have all the top producers going into grit, investing into our business. This is what you guys need to do because it's just, I don't know. You guys need to do it.
Hey, Liz,
yes.
I had a call with Curtis and Debbie last night, and there's 57 total that signed up. They did say if we get 3 more people that join up, they will do the raffle for the 5 people to join in on the call. So in other words, if someone wins that raffle, they can invite somebody to participate in the rest. And by the way, the calls were recorded, so you can always go back and hear it. So awesome.
I definitely recommend it, guys. If you haven't done it, get in.
Yeah. Thank you, Liz, for being a huge, both of you and Claire have been huge promoters of it. And I know it's some good stuff. Joey, go ahead, bud.
So I put a couple things down here just to kind of go through. For me, taking massive action and continuing to sharpen, my skills is going to be a big thing during this, but the massive action is one of the biggest components. And then what I did is I committed to working in my database. I just dumped a bunch of people in there, maybe last year, and I never even did anything with my KB card. Just kind of whatever. I got my people in here and whatever. But I finally said, you know what? I started methodically going through and putting people on market reports, putting people on active property alert campaigns, and doing things to trigger an action from the other side. And it was amazing because like after about 2 months of doing that, my dashboard blew up. When I tell you, I mean, it blew up. I mean, there were people in there looking at properties, responding to text messages, automated. So, I mean, just doing that one little thing, and I haven't converted anybody yet, but I'm guaranteeing you that someone will be converted within the next 3 months or so. So, and I'm going to continue to work that database methodically and try to get more responses from people. And at some point, I'm probably going to have to hire somebody to manage that for me because it's just going to be too much.
Well, that's a really tough problem to have, right, Joey? Right. So when we get into a foundation of success and then we build a pipeline, that's when we go into leverage. Who are the people, systems, tools, or models or technology I need to start creating leverage? And then you go into the mastery side of it once you get through that. But if you can't start hiring people if you haven't improved your skill set and your mindset and your habits to develop the business. What you're doing is you're skipping everything and hoping that it works. No, you don't get to a home plate by going to third and then running home. You got to go to first, you got to go to second, you got to go to third, and you got to get home, right? So follow the process, right? Why change it up now just because we're in the real estate business? If you follow the process to success, you'll get there. Build the foundation, build your pipeline, and then you start going into leverage pieces. So, Claire.
So I find it extremely encouraging that we have on this call a lot of people that have been in real estate less than 10 years. Okay. Some of us have been in longer, but less than 10 years. So it's nice to see those that are new to the business saying that relationships matter.
Yeah.
Because those relationships, be it co-broke, be it the buyers, be it the sellers, be it our sphere, be it our influencers, be it our Mets, whatever you want to call it, this right here is going to save you through a shift. Okay.
100%.
And here's the thing. You don't have to have some great and wonderful CRM right now. Here's what you do. You pick up the phone and tell people, hey, just to let you know and remind you, I'm still in real estate. I know people are feeling it. You may not want to buy or sell right now. However, I want to send you a snapshot of how much equity you have in your home. Is that something that would be of benefit to you? I made 5 phone calls yesterday just for that. Sent out 5 real estate reviews. 2 people have already called me back. 2 people already referred new buyers to me. And I had 2 buyer conversations yesterday. And I called Liz because she's my accountability sister, my little mama, and said, I literally have not gotten up out of my seat since 7:30 because we have the most incredible technology now where we can talk to people face to face, even by our phone because it's Zoom, because I like to see people. I like to experience them. I like to watch their body language, because if we're really and truthfully connecting with them on a disc level to meet their needs, not our needs, their needs, those little pivots will bring you through the shift in glowing revenue. Every shift I have made more money than the top producers each and every time. I love shifts. You know why? Because it's the time where people need us most. They need an honest, factual, consistent conduit to what's going on with their number one asset in their portfolio. And if you don't take that seriously, you're freaking missing out, because people matter.
People matter.
People want us to help them. People matter. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's my preaching for today.
So, and guys, I encourage every one of you to look at your, see, we get a magazine every month from the Board of Realtors. And on the very last page on the back side, it shows year over year and month over month. I would highly encourage you to look at that. Now, I'm not saying the market's horrible right now, but what I am saying is the sellers can't be as unrealistic in their pricing anymore because homes are sitting on the market a day longer. Interest rates are going up a little bit, right? People at 5 and 6%. I still think that's absolutely amazing. And some people say, I won't buy because it's that high. Well, if you don't buy, go rent and pay, I don't get it. I mean, I just don't get it. Anyway, just because the rates are at 5 and 6% shouldn't stop a buyer from buying. They just won't be able to buy as much as they want to buy anymore because they waited too long and didn't take your advice properly, right? So be the professional, be confident, but be compassionate to their needs. Now that I know your needs, if I find exactly what you're looking for, are you prepared to write an offer? All right, go ahead, Joey.
I just had to piggyback off of Claire and Matt and you as well about the relationship thing. It's the most important thing, people over products, right? This is what I learned a long time ago, but it's so true. I have a really good relationship with my lender. She's my primary lender. And I recently just had a closing. And the only reason, and the listing agent, who's a broker, told me, Joe, I got to be honest with you. You weren't the highest offer. You weren't even the second highest offer. You were like not even in the middle of the pack. But we chose you because we knew that the lender you're working with was going to be able to close the transaction. And it was that simple. And really, that was it. And we've been looking for 6 months. And I got this guy the contract and we closed in 30 days. So that's a free, and that's a freebie because of the relationship,
100%, 100%. See, that's winning, Joey. That's winning. You won and your lender won based on your relationship, right? If you're not having your lender call the listing agent, you're missing out on an opportunity. If you submit an offer, have your lender call that listing agent. If they don't want to call them, say, listen, I'm going to use another lender that will. Period. Why should the lender sit there and be an order taker for you to bring them business, right? They got to work too, right? And by the way, lenders aren't order takers. I'm just saying, if you're bringing them business and they're not doing anything to help you other than close the sale, but they got to work for you to help you get that sale too. So we got some great comments in the chat box. This is your call. Rental rates have gone up substantially. And when someone tells me, yeah, I'm going to hold off and wait and I'm going to go rent, I'm like, okay, so how much is rent? $2,300. Okay. So now you're at about $50,000, $30,000 for the year of that money that was you just put into a barn fire. Even if you paid $23,000 in interest on a home that you bought, you get to write 100% of that off in your taxes. Which one's better? So go buy a darn house. As long as you're going to be in that home longer than 5 years, don't tell me, am I going to have equity in 6 months? And if you're telling people that, you're working as a financial advisor, you will lose your real estate license. You're going to lose your license. Don't ever tell anybody, hey, yeah, in 6 months from now, we'll be able to turn around and flip this for this amount of money. Don't do it. I'm telling you, do not do it. I see someone. Oh, somebody must have been on their keyboard. It just kept typing letters. Peter, repeat. What did you want me to repeat? As far as Peter? Rent versus buying. Okay, so Peter asked me to repeat that, rent versus buying. Grant Cardone always says that people put logic together when they really diagnose numbers, right? And sometimes it's important for you to help them understand those numbers, right? Because you got a lot of analytical people and you've got a lot of people that will understand when it comes to a number, right? So if I say, hey, I'm not selling my house with you, Liz, because I'm not paying you 6%. And then Liz says to me, hey, Tom, if I can show you how I can net you the amount of money that you're comfortable with, would you be okay with that? Sure. Now I know what I want to net. What she makes is irrelevant. But if you start discussing percentages up front, you're going to miss the opportunity. Same thing with interest rates. So if I say, hey, Liz, the interest rate's are 6%, I'm not buying because the rate's are 6%. Well, what if the payment was affordable and you found the home that you were looking for? Oh, okay, I'll do that, right? So now if somebody's renting for, say, $2,000 a month, pull up a $2,000 mortgage home for them, a home that will fit that mortgage amount, and say, listen, if you had the opportunity to write off your interest that you're paying all year in your taxes, is that more beneficial than burning this money that you're paying in rent? Because you get nothing for it. You got a place to live. I mean, it's obviously something, but then you're taking the chance of going, all right, next year it's going to go up. My rent's going to go up 20%. 25%, 30%, or whatever it is. I'd rather be committed to a mortgage than committed to a lease. Because here's the thing, the mortgage becomes an asset over time. And I will never, ever tell anyone. I just don't. Me personally, I will not do it. Hey, if you buy this home deep in a year from now, the way the market's going, you'll have 100,000 equity. Because what if it crashes tomorrow? What if we go into a war? Okay, guys, you have to understand and be prepared for everything. See, I look ahead. I'm always looking way up. You know, when I'm driving my vehicle, I'm looking a mile to a mile ahead. I want to see if there's any police officers out there doing radar because I'm doing whatever I'm doing for speed. I'm also looking for any kind of distracted drivers. See, I'm always looking ahead now. Are you looking ahead? Gina.
Yes, hi. I wanted to find out, so when people say to me, I'd rather rent because I don't want to pay the taxes of the house, I don't want to pay the homeowner's insurance, all these things add up. Why would I buy? Why don't I just rent?
Yeah, do rent versus owning analogy, right? Say, okay, if you find the rental that you want, how much is that? Write it down. So let's say it's $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 in a year.
Mhm.
Let's say you can buy this house for taxes, principal, interest, and taxes, or whatever it is, PITI, for $2,100 a month. Okay, yes, it's a higher rate. Yes, you're paying taxes. Yes, you're paying interest, but now you have a full 100% interest deductible and you own this home. You're not at the mercy of that landlord raising your rent next year or not fixing something that needs to be repaired.
But then they say their homeowner's insurance is going to raise. And like everybody's saying now that their homeowners is doubles. I keep going on like Port St. Lucie Facebook pages to hear what people say. And they're like, my insurance has doubled. It's crazy. Don't buy.
Yeah. Yeah. I always tell people this, you know, are they paying your bills for you? Why don't you make your own decision? Right. I still, my insurance doubled, but I'm still winning. My insurance doubled, and I'm still winning.
Okay.
Right.
Dina, it's funny when you see on those pages, you see all the naysayers,
Mhm.
right?
I
Yeah.
don't know the
I
market.
just turn
like
them
you.
away. They don't know what someone else's situation is. They think they're financial advisors for the world.
Right. Yeah.
They should probably take a hard reflection of their own situations.
Right.
And that's the way I look. I don't get into it with them. I promote that, you know, if people, great, but your rent can go up. Great, they can sell the building and they can get rid of your rent. There's so many other things. It's not worth it. Just push forward. Just go
Yeah,
around.
don't allow the naysayers or the social media to dictate the best decision for you and your family. You know, this is a tough one, but I've done this in front of family members. So when a family member, not my family members, let's say a husband and wife are buying a home, they're newlyweds, and the
Mhm.
parents are like, I wouldn't buy that home right now. The interest rates are going up and you're overpaying. The first thing I say, ma'am, with all due respect, you're their parents and I get it, but you have no emotional attachment to this purchase. This is something they're doing for themselves. Unless you're paying for that mortgage, I would really like for them to make the decision themselves. Because every single time, the person that doesn't have the emotional attachment is going to talk someone out of it. And I've had it happen. Had a police officer, he said, Tom, he canceled the day before and lost his $5,000 deposit because his father, who was in bankruptcy and had never made the right financial decisions, told him to back out. And by the way, he'd have about 150,000 in equity today if he would have bought that property. But no, he's still renting. So the benefit of renting is greater than owning. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. Peter, hold on one second. Peter had his hand up. Go ahead, Peter.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Peter.
This is my first time on the call. So
Glad you're here, man.
So not to deviate from the topic currently right now, but you know, something just came to me. Like I had an experience, and Liz also talked about this, that she doesn't take more than 6% commission from a seller. So I had a situation where I was with a seller, you know, we spoke and everything, that interview process. And the seller tells me that he had other options from other agents. And I'm like, okay, so what are the other agents offering you? And he said one offered him 3% commission, and the second one said 1%. At that point, I was really confused. Like, am I getting something wrong? Or,
Peter,
I mean,
Peter,
you know,
very valid. Remember at the beginning, were you on the beginning of the call?
mhm,
Okay, I talked about skill set, mindset, and habits, right?
yeah.
When
mhm,
you build your skill set to a level, you handle those like that, right? So what I'd like you to do is MikeFerry.com, MikeYFerry.com has objection handling on commission. So Peter, here's the objection handler to commission. Peter, I understand that other realtors are going to do it for less. I
Yeah.
understand that. I have to ask you a question, Peter. Okay.
mhm,
If that agent is cutting their commission and they're cutting their business profits, what's providing for their family, what makes you think they're going to defend the value of your home?
exactly.
So Peter, there are a lot of agents that are going to do it for less. As a matter of fact, the person charging you 1% might be overcharging you based on what they're going to do for you.
Mhm,
Would you rather
I
have
figured.
someone that is a business person with knowledge, integrity, and always to do the right thing to get you the most amount of money? Or would you rather someone cutting the commission that's going to cut the value to you?
That's true.
So those are objection handlers. And thank you for bringing that up, because seasoned agents still get lost in that. I've told many people, oh yeah, they'll do it for less. I'm sure. I'm surprised they're charging you that. They're overcharging you based on the service they're going to provide for you.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Mhm.
company? Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was still in business. Yeah. Right?
Okay.
Because the commission cutters are going to be out of business here within 3 months. Sorry to say this, but they're going to be gone. I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
So go to
Yeah.
MikeFerry.com, pull up those objection handlers,
Okay.
and
MikeFerry.com.
MikeFerry.com. Also, Peter, if you're new to us, if you're new to EXP, reach out to your sponsor or one of the other agents that are in our group. I
Yeah.
put a script booklet inside of our GPS. So there's a whole script booklet, and
Okay.
it has some objection handlers in there as well. Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
He'll be with us, Tom, in about 30 days, and today may have made his decision for him to
Okay.
leave his previous brokerage and come on over.
Peter, just do it. Hey, you know that Nike symbol says just do it, because the
I
more we
just
think,
did it.
there you go. Love it. So Natasha, you just send me an email and I'll send you that booklet. Okay.
Okay.
All right, dear.
Okay.
Always good to see you, Natasha. Deep.
Uh,
We love
First
you,
of all,
Deep. Thank you
thank
for
you.
always participating and contributing, because when you speak, we listen and we appreciate you.
Thank you for always going back to the topics that's very relevant. Oh, I love that about you. And you know, Friday is my favorite call. So, and same thing, when the last crash happened, I wasn't prepared. We were all successful, making shitload of money, and the ship sank. The Titanic hit the bottom. So I hope Peter didn't get scared from this call. This call is to educate people what's coming along. The train is coming. It's for you to watch the light and move outside the way. I hear people all the time, even today. Oh yeah, I know, but you say that, but the demand is so big. Demand does not mean shit. I don't care what anybody says. I have conversations with builders who are local in my area. They're holding back on their purchasing. They're walking away from deals that they still have 6 months to close on, still going through due diligence. They're saying we're cutting the contracts down. They have enough inventory. They're already projected for the next 3 years. They don't care about the demands. So this is not only happening on the local level, it's happening with DR Horton. It's happening with Lennar. These are national builders. National builders don't make decisions very easily, guys. It comes from the top. If every decision they make affects their stock dollar. So they think before they make this decision. So just be prepared, just be smart about it. I would say strap down, clean your bone off. If you can cut corners, cut, look at your expense, whatever you can do, just be prepared. Worst come to worst, it might not happen. You're more prepared than ever.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, guys, I mean, there's more to my story with when the market crashed. It was not good. You know, I can honestly say our family, my wife and I were at the church that we always gave food to at the food, for sitting out there waiting for food. It was that bad. And, you know, I come from a place of being very humble because I want to make sure that you guys understand Tom's never had it all that easy. Tom has created what he's got because he worked hard to get it. And by the way, I slacked many times. I had to get back up. I've been knocked down. I had to get back up. I got a bad mindset when it comes to when someone says something negative to me to react versus listen, absorbing, you know. So don't tell me what to do mentality is not always the best, right? Listen to the people who have gone through it and you will succeed through it. It's our privilege to be able to help you through what is to come so you don't experience that. If you want to stay in real estate, invest in yourself and it will work. I promise you. Thank you, Deep. Somebody mentioned my script booklet. Is your script booklet on the GPS workplace? I believe, yes, it is. Go into files and it's there. Yes, I'm doing the 1 o'clock call today. Is the script booklet on? Yes. Okay, I'm just reading some of these messages. All right, yeah, the script booklet is in the GPS workplace on the files. Just scroll down, there's a lot of files that I put in there. That's the most important thing that you need right now. Follow a script. I still follow scripts, guys. You know how I learned, you know what I learned when Mike Ferry told me a long time ago, he said, do you hang up on telemarketers? I said, yeah, all the time. He said, don't hang up on them, listen to them. Thank them for calling you. Tell them they did a great job because they're going from a script and you might learn something. I've seen some eyes open up on this call, right? We shut people down. We don't know what we're saying no to. What are you really saying no to? You haven't even heard them out. And by the way, thank them for making the call because you know what? You're going to learn something and you just made their day, even if you don't buy anything. Hey, by the way, you did such a great job on that call. Have you ever thought about real estate? Because if you can make this kind of call several times a day, you would make a stupid amount of money. Let me tell you about real estate. Convert them. Robert.
Funny, me and Tiffany were talking about scripts the other day, and I get a call at the house. And it was a mortgage company. She's laughing already. It was a mortgage company. She could hear the entire conversation, telling me everything that they were going to do for my buyers. And I turned and asked them a very simple question. And I said, that's great, but what are you doing to put buyers in front of me? I can hand them to you all day long, but what are you doing to put them in front of me to build my business? And they had no answer. So I take all of these calls and I do, Tom. I ask everyone who's pitching their business to me, I'm asking them what they're doing in return. And occasionally I do find 1 or 2 people that are actually looking to work with me. So there's always opportunities there. And I do listen to all their scripts and some of them are just not good.
Yeah.
Their pitch is wrong.
Hey guys, I'm still up here in North Carolina. So I got a couple things I got to do and I got to get off the call, but we got, everyone else is going to stay here and a lot of support on these calls with Deep, Claire, Liz, Robert, everyone here. So I want you guys to keep carrying on. And Tiffany, I'm sorry, but I got to get off.
Tom,
Yeah.
we're all thinking about you and your family.
Thank
We're
you.
all praying for TJ and for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Love you, Tom.
Thank you. Still
Love
need-
you.
Love you, Tom.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Go ahead, Joey.
Robert, on that